We have a treasure trove for you today from our friends at Hunkydory. We have a magazine, and with the magazine comes lots of goodies, and I'll show them to you, as well as a Sent with Love little book of, just really charming. In fact, this is one of the projects that Heidi made. Look at this, it uses the acetate. Yes, there is foiled acetate. And look, this is an easel card done on its side. Just like that. How neat is that? This is just one of the projects we have for you. Won't you please come play with us? Well, as I said, the magazine comes with goodies, but let's look at the magazine first. So this is just kind of tells you that there's a Sent with Love collection. And in the magazine, there are 100 projects. How neat is that? Including ideas for the free goodies that are inside. So just lots and lots. You get instructions, you get the photograph of the card itself. It just goes on. And then there's other things that we also carry because we buy a lot from Hunkydory. They're just a great supplier. So there's this, and then inside of this, there is a cutting die. And then there are these 4 collections. Now, each collection has a foiled sheet of die cuts. This is the pink one. And then there's also a foiled adorable scoreable. And there is a printed adorable scoreable. And then there is another sheet that is double-sided of paper. So this is the pink collection. We have the same thing in the blue collection right here. And in addition, there are 2 sheets of this foiled acetate, and they are gold foiled on one side and they're silver foiled on the other. This happens to be the leaves. There's also a floral one, so I'll show you that in a second. There's also a purple collection. How pretty. And again, the papers, so just absolutely gorgeous. And there is this cream set that Heidi did not use, and this is the additional foiled acetate that has flowers on it. So you can see there's the foil pieces, the foiled adorable squirrel. I like to show you the foiling as it flashes, the printed adorable squirrel, and the double-sided paper. So you have that in all 4 of the collections. Neato. Then also we have the Sent with Love. This is the little book of. There are 120 sheets. There are 20 different designs, and you get 6 of each. And yes, let me just show you some of them. I'm not sure if this is right side up or not, but we'll just go for it. These are, gee, I didn't look at the size. I think they're about 3 by almost 5. So you can see, and just a couple of them have greetings. You'll see some that Heidi used, but they're all matching the art in the toppers that I just showed you. So just beautiful kind of watercolor look. And again, you're going to get multiples of each one, so you have lots and lots. These are single-sided, and they come in the pad that is gummed at the top, so they just tear off easily. Oh, there you go. Okay, and there's more. There's more that she used. So that's what I have to share with you. Let's get into the projects. Our first one is this. I've got a note to myself. And this is a 6x6 card. And what she did is she used a 12 by 12 paper to make that. Okay, now I have it. This is our sheet of pastel cardstock. Now it says pearlescent. That's not true. It's pastel. It's 12 by 12. There are 20 sheets in here, 2 of each color. Huge value, by the way. And she took the pink one and trimmed it down in half, 6 inches, and then scored it in the middle so that she had a 6x6 card, just like that. Super, super easy. And then she took the paper that's included in this pink collection. Let me get that for you. And like I said, it's double-sided, so it has flowers on one side and then this pattern on the other. So she took this and cut a smaller piece. This is 5.5 inches square, matted it on the brushed diamond, gold brushed diamond. So it's like that. And then glued that to the top of the card. And then she opened up her card and she put the circle die that is 4.5 inches wide, placed it there and ran this through her die cutting machine. So Gemini, Big Shot, whatever you have. And that gave a nice circle in the center, and you can see it on the back of this, okay? So you may want to run it through a couple of times just because it's going through so many layers of paper. So that took care of that step. Then she went to the sheet that has the foil die cuts. And as you can see, she's going to use this one for the center, but we don't do that yet. We're going to take the outside one that is patterned. We're not using the gold one, so that's for another project. Took the patterned one and glued it over the top of that circle. And as you can see, you just want to make sure that it really is covering it evenly. You can do that by turning it over and looking at that. So that will work. Then those roses, aren't they gorgeous? That is from the cutting die that I have now buried in my stash of, oh, there it is. Okay, so this is the rose and then a leaf. She cut both of them multiple times out of our metallic gold. And aren't they gorgeous? Just so pretty. A lot of detail. Let's get in close so we can see that. So there you go. Now she cut 1, 2, 3, then she cut one for the inside, and then she cut 7 of these little sprigs of leaves. So it's a little sprig. And then as you can see, she's foam taped the flower and then just glued the leaves underneath it. This is glued down, the leaves are glued down, but this one is foam taped on top. The You Make My Heart Bloom, that is one of the pieces that is on the foiled topper sheet. And then she used, as you know, Heidi is a big fan of the bow maker, and she used that with the light pink ribbon. We've got a regular pink and we've got a light pink, and then made a bow out of the dotted Swiss and dotted it right there. So that's the card front. So the brushed diamond and the metallic gold really do a nice combination, and I think she uses that again. On the inside, remember that sheet of patterned? Well, here it is on the inside. So she used that on the outside, this on the inside, and then she did cut a strip of the other side, the flowers, and then matted it on the diamond and put it in the middle. Now, what she said in her directions, and by the way, those are just down below, is that you want to close this to make sure that that's going to be in the middle of your opening. So that way it positions everything, okay? Then this is, as I showed you on the topper sheet, it is that big piece in the middle, that focal. That's foam taped. The Lots of Love is on that same sheet, and then here is where she used the other of the die cut metallic gold flowers, another little knotted ribbon out of the light pink, and that takes care of it. Now you will want to get our 6.5 inch square envelopes because that will make this all work, and you can mail it and you'll love it. So that's just our first card. How pretty. And this is a bonus with that magazine. I mean, what a great deal Hunkydory does for us. Okay, we're going to go to the next card, which is the one that I showed you in the opening. And in this case, she's done a couple of different things. Well, number one, I think I'm just going to start here. And let me get that sheet. Here it is. This is the cardstock that is printed. It is not foiled, and that's how I differentiate it between printed and foiled. And you can see how pretty that piece is. So that's where she cut a 5 by 6.5 inch piece. That is going to be the base of the card, and it's nice and sturdy, so it's going to work perfectly. I'm going to set that aside because then we're going to attach the acetate. And the acetate, as I said before, I didn't know that you could, yeah, you can see it probably better there. And she's going to cut this to be 5.5 inches by 6.5. So the same size as the card base, but a ½ an inch wider. And then she's going to use the extra sticky tape, you know, with the red liner, put it on the inside of that flap and attach it to the back of that card base. Just very simple. That's going to hold it nicely. Now, she did also score in the middle. I guess you would want to do that before you attached it, wouldn't you? And she used the scoreboard. It is 5 inches, so you're going to go 2½ inches and score that. And as I showed you in the beginning, that's going to enable this to be a side easel. And that's pretty unique. I think it's really nice. Now, with that, you want to make sure that nothing is attached to the left side of that acetate. So what she did, I'm going to go to the topper set, and she has chosen this image, kind of like the last one. She's going to use the printed frame, not the gold one, and she's going to use the center. So again, you have the gold one for later. And she attached it. Now, you want to use the extra sticky tape because you're attaching to a slick surface, and you're just going to attach the right side of it to the right side of the acetate. So first the frame, then the inside. Then she also took these 2 tags on that sheet and attached this one down and foam taped this one on top. And then again, using the bow maker and the blue ribbon collection, she chose a lighter blue and knotted that bow on top. Now in this, she's also used, and I'm not sure if you can see it, let's get it, thank you. So she used the gold jewel dazzles. Now, I know that's just crazy on your eyes, isn't it? But there are 540 circles on here, 3 different sizes. You can see she used some on the center of the flowers, some on the edges of the frame. So just wherever you would like to do that. It just adds a bit of sparkle, and it matches the gold that's on the foiling. We'll back up a second and then come to the inside of the card. And here, there are 2 borders on this sheet. In fact, there's borders on many of the sheets. She used the yellow one, and she simply foam taped it on top of the, let me show you there, here it is. Here it is before it's attached. So she just put it on top of that border, and she foam taped it because, as you know, there has to be something to stop the easel, to allow it to stand up like this. So that's why that's foam taped. These 3 pieces are on that same sheet. Get Well Soon, Thinking of You, Sent with Love, more of the gold jewel dazzles, and you are done. Now, you will probably want our 10 envelopes so that you can mail this, since you've created the card out of the adorable scoreable. Okay, that sound right? Okay, let's go on to our next one. And this is out of the purple collection. Let me grab the card that I have buried under here. And now we're going to go into the little book of, okay, so I showed you all of those sheets, but I didn't show you every single one. So here's one. And what she has done, okay, here is the sheet of double-sided paper. And she first cut a piece of this and matted it on the tan out of the, not pearlescent, but the pastel cardstock, and glued that to the front of her card. And you can see that right up there. Now, she used the tan because this has some tan coloring in it, so that worked nicely. And it also matches the blouse I have on. Okay, then she took 3 pieces of this. I think, nope, I just lied. Okay, let me check. Yes, okay. This is the sheet. Actually, these are the 3 sheets that she is using in this project. You can tell where this one goes. But first, we're going to look at this one. And you can see that whole array of flowers on it. And so she I want to make sure this is, yes. So she cut strips, and there are 3 strips. Let me just show you. She matted each on the metallic gold, which she used earlier, and then attached them equidistance along along the card. Then this she matted onto gold glitter, just like that. And she did trim it down, so you are going to want it to be a little bit smaller, and then matted it on the glitter and then foam taped it on top. Then she went back to that cutting die and die cut more of the flowers out of the metallic gold, foam taped them in opposite corners, and then this bow is out of the purple ribbon set. The inside of this is using another of the little book, and it's this one, so you can see it all matches quite nicely. And this has been matted first on the metallic gold, then on the diamond, the glitter, on the glitter. So metallic and then glitter. And you can see just the top and the bottom were cut. Otherwise, this piece is going to fill the center of it. Glued it in place. The Just For You comes from the purple. This is the only set we have like this. This is the Purple Dazzles. This has thin line, it has words, it has greetings, it has all kinds of things. The Just For You is also in there with the hearts, and so she's placed that there. She's kind of made it into a little bit of a scoop, and another of the bows is attached right there. So all set to go. Okay, I have one more for you, and in true Heidi fashion, she's done something different. So this is our Slimline tint card, and I just want to show you. Okay, this is also a Hunkydory product that you and many of us love. And so what she's done is she has used 2 different sheets. Now again, you get multiples of each. So this one, she glued to the center and then trimmed off the excess. Okay, so you got that. Then to create these borders, she took this sheet and just kind of trimmed just loosely around each of those corners. Now she did that on 2 sheets. So she took one, and now just remember, this is just trimmed around the edge, glued it there, and also glued it right here. Then she took the other one and foam taped it right here, and foam taped it right here. So glued down the left side, foam taped the right side, and that's an interesting way to get this collage look. I thought that was really interesting. Now, speaking of adding things, she took this, it's been a while since I've used this. This is the Lacy Butterfly Dazzles. This is in gold pearl. So there's butterflies, it says happy thoughts. There's also this doily and some borders, lots of goodies going on here. Well, she took 2 of the butterflies. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's a bunch, and there's some little ones. So she took one large one and put it up here, and then took a smaller one down here. Then she lifted up the wings of this one, and you can use either cornstarch or baby powder, and just dusted those. Now you might want to do that before you attach the body, so either way. She just wanted to have these loose, so that's a way to do it. Now she also took the the tiny words and phrases. Now this package has got black, white, gold, and silver. This is our basic package. There are 310 images in here, and we'll have to get in close to see this. So it says, just because, and there's some little butterfly there, and then hello with another tiny butterfly, and then hi right there. So and then little guys fluttering over there. So that creates the front of the card. The inside, she has used another of this first sheet. Remember, she used that in the center, and she has that glued that there. It's a little more than halfway, and then she used one of the borders and put it there, another of the butterflies, the happy thoughts, and butterflies all around. So just adding to that. The gold pearl, our regular gold is sparkly, kind of like these. Gold pearl is a more scaled back image. It's softer, and they do just lift up quite beautifully. So that is our last card. So you can see there are just tons of ideas, and actually, as I mentioned, there are more in the magazine, but with that you're going to get all 4 of those sets of toppers. You are also going to get that charming cutting die that I have buried on, oh, there it is. I didn't bury it on my table. So all of this is one piece, and then we have the Sent with Love little book of, okay? So all of that is in the Money Saver on the right-hand side of your screen, of course. They are sold separately. You can buy this as one collection and this as another piece, so whichever you like. And I just think they're wonderful. I love it when we get such special things from Hunkydory, and that's a ton of extra stuff in with that magazine. It's quite a deal. There are directions, as I said, down below. Just click on the cards. You will see that, and you can print them off if you would like to do that. If you happen to be watching us on YouTube, we would love it. If you would like us, then please head on over to Paper Wishes. That's the only place that you're going to find the Money Saver, the only place you're going to find the directions written for you. And that's something we just do. Thank you, Heidi. You've just done, as always, a lovely job with these products and given us new ideas. And I do want to thank you for joining us. You know, we have a webisode just about every day, especially now that we're doing Flashback Fridays. And we love to have you joining us because you are the most important part of paperwishes.com. Okay, that's it for today, and come back tomorrow. We've got more.